Hello everybody, Keith here again. Today I want to have a look at a couple of dendrobiums. These are two plants, I think they were originally keikis that I got from Margaret East in a plant swap a couple of years ago now. And these are both Dendrobium crumenatum. Neither's done fantastically well for me, but they've both got some new growths on, and they're still growing, so there's a fair chance we've got some new roots in there. Now, I haven't repotted these since I got them, and on the back of this label of Margaret's it says 3rd of the 10th 18, so they've been in these pots for a couple of years, and to be honest, the bark doesn't look brilliant. We've got sort of white marks on it. Don't think it smells particularly bad, but it doesn't look wondrous. Now these things are supposed to be coastal. They're warm, but they like it humid, and I suspect that they've not enjoyed the winter in here because it gets down to 16, 15, 16, so it's probably a little bit cool for them. And the humidity is probably not high enough. So what I think I'm going to do with these, and it's a bit of a toss-up, I'm not sure what I'm going to find inside the pot until I actually have a look what's inside the pot. It appears at first sight to be pure bark, and that might not be quite what it wants. What I think I'm going to do is do it a little bit more like I've done my Masdevallia, and I'm going to put some perlite in it and some moss with it, probably not too much, but to try and give it a little bit of extra moisture, and hopefully, as well as sitting on a wet gravel bed, some of this will give it a little bit of humidity rising from the compost as well. The other thing it might be short of is daylight. I need to check what kind of lighting levels it's getting, and I might have to move it so it's a bit brighter. So let's start with this one, which is the worst of the two. Yeah, it's pretty much a little bit of moss in there around the roots, such as they are. The roots are not very good. The roots are not very good at all, and the whole thing is very wet. I can't see a lot of strings. There's a few branches, but I am not really thrilled with this. I think it might have been better if this had been more distributed in amongst the mix rather than being jammed up tight. It's possibly as simple as I've left it too long. So that's this one. Don't want to get too precious about getting every last little scrap out, but we've got old moss and things in there. I think it's possibly just been left in too long. It can certainly go back into that pot, doesn't need potting it. And then we've got this one, which is a better plant. We've got, where are we? Zoom back a little bit. We've got two new growths that are still growing. We've got one that's just finished there. It looks altogether better than the other one. Whether it was just a little bit bigger in the first place, I don't know, but we need to, I suspect we're going to find something very similar. Now Margaret's done something different with this. This has got some sort of pebbles. Is this lava rock? I don't know. Not seen it before, but that will clearly keep the compost a bit more open. And that's interesting because this one's done better. So I think what I want to do is hand pick all this rock stuff, pebbles and goodness knows what else out of here, which will be tedious to watch. And I'll finish cleaning it up and then I'll come back and we'll have another play in a minute. This one is definitely a better plant. The roots look better. We've got at least one with a root tip, which is obviously what we want, a couple perhaps. But it's interesting, we've got quite a lot of that rock, whatever it is, getting on for half that pot size. Like the other one, Margaret's packed it underneath with moss, and I'm not sure that's the best way of doing it. I think it would be better with moss more through the thing so it can find drier pathways. But it's obviously a plant that doesn't need to draw in vast amounts of moisture. The roots are quite fine. I'm going to have a think, but it's going to be some bark and I think a little bit of moss, and I want to use that rock for crocking in the bottom of both of them. There's certainly plenty for that to make sure that it can drain. I think although it likes it, it's going to want it moist. I'm finding with a lot of plants that they, with a few exceptions like the Restrepias or the Masdevallias, they want us to go, instead of wet dry, at least wet damp. So that's what I'm going to aim for. Right, so I haven't got anything prepared because I wasn't sure what I was going to find. I'll try and sort something out and then we'll come back and we'll have a final look at it. I think I'm going to use some smallish bark which I got from Spiceotic plants on eBay. It's the smallest of the barks I've got. It's a bit dusty but it'll be alright, that'll wash through. I'm going to use some of that, and I've got some moss and I've got some perlite, so I'm not going to put ever so lot of moss in, I'm not going to put ever so lot of perlite in, but I'm going to make perhaps 50% bark, 25% of the other two. As I say, I want this to dry out better than it was doing. So that's 2 handfuls of bark. A small handful of moss, which is some I've had left over from previous things, and just a fairly small amount of perlite, just to mix it up. Now that moss is going to be too big at that, and it looks it's not mixing in, it's running through, and I don't think, if I'm not careful, we're going to end up with all of it in one of the pots and none of it in the other pot. So right, let's try a big one because I think that'll be the easiest one to do. I think Right, I think that has got it reasonably well down in there. It might want a small stake, I think, just to make absolutely sure it can't fall out of the pot, but I'm reasonably happy with that. So we've got some moss, we've got some perlite in there, there's rock in the bottom, so hopefully that's going to let it do a bit more. Now quite come off there. Okay. Oh. Nope, need to write on when I've done it. Anyway, that's my 2 Dendrobium crumenatum repotted for the first time since I got them. I say they've been in the pot, I should imagine it's about September, October time in 2018, and today is the 18th of March 2021, so 2.5 years is probably too long, but it'll be interesting to see how we go now. So that, I hope, will drain a bit better while keep giving it a moisture reservoir, which is a bit contradictory, isn't it? And I'm going to be a little bit more careful about keeping its humidity tray topped up. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.